into magic and dominates you anyway.
I mean, Puck is just that ulti alone is enough to justify just playing pulse. Right? You can be useless in lane and then just the Dream Crow ulti just to like shut down or control like a troll wall or like AM for like 5 seconds.
Exactly.
That's more than enough to pick it as a pulse 5 or pulse 4. But getting into the first pick of Exdee Gaming, the DP. Have you been seeing more recently of a DP off lane or like a mid lane?
As far as I understand, like to me, I haven't really seen it anywhere other than mid. And then I saw OG use it as carry a few times when Sumail was there for a little bit, but I haven't really seen it off lane, if I must admit, as Abbott gets picked up on the other side.
Regarding to the pro scene, regarding DP, OG actually plays like DP pulse 5 for a bit, but I'm not too sure about that. But I know Dark Legend also plays DP.
So it's a bit of, it's a third ban as well.
Yeah, I guess, but it's also like the hero's just ridiculously strong.
Yeah,
like with AC Shiva's or like Shiva's Eul Scepter Ags,
and the other Ags is also great. As you see, Tusk getting pulled out as well. I tell you, seeing those two being picked 1 and 2 just reminds me of like TR4, TR5.
How come? I never watched. I didn't watch.
You wouldn't?
I'm not a boomer. I'm not a boomer. I've never watched this one.
Remember back in the old days, and around about TR4 and 5, basically you only played 3 mid heroes and not really much else unless you felt like being adventurous. It was Viper and Razor were always the 2 mids, and occasionally you see the Death Prophet if they were making, and that was the time of the Death Ball where who was it that won? I think Newbie won at that time. And it was the time where everybody started hating Vici Gaming properly because they made the Death Ball meta just so strong. But then about 3 patches in a row, they nerfed 5-manning. So it slowly got pulled out of it. But Death Prophet being an obvious choice for a 5-man team. And Tusk also right there too.
And going straight into the Duck draft, Abaddon, I actually seen Duck has actually drafted Abaddon pauses in their draft quite a few.
Is that pause 1?
No, they mostly drafted as if they can get the pause 1, they mostly draft with an IO. But if they can't, they just let Dark Legend play as a pause 5, which is fine. But like just looking at this draft, there's nothing much you're gonna dispel. It's not like the Abaddon of Forza is gonna dispel like the snowball or something. It's not like as effective, but it's still
it's not huge. It'll help maybe with the silence, but as you're saying, it's not really what it's for yet.
I feel like if you want I think if you want a lane dominator like Abaddon is, I think you can just pick Undying, but Undying's so much more useful than Abaddon because like Tombstone.
When you start getting the Tombstone is so strong.
And then the ulti. I think if you want a lane dominator, you can just pick like someone like Undying, but you know, Undying's a bit hard hero too. You have to really find the balance between buying regen and just sustaining health. So Abaddon's the easier.
A bit more reliable.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really talk about the OD ban, but he's also another one of the current meta angels, if you will.
5 seconds remaining.
The hero's so ridiculous. Like I can deal with like he's all doing like 3-shotting supports. I get 3-shot by Ricky anyway, but it's just that if you just look at his stats, he has 320 movement speed, he has 8 armor, and he has like 62 damage, and he has ridiculous attack
and
range.
He can put you away like. So you're always gonna outfarm mid in a completely even 1 versus 1 where both of you are equally skilled. The OD will win more often than not, just because you get more CS as OD just by being able to put them away.
It makes the hero so hard to gank with his Astral, just with how much movement speed, how much armor he has. It's just ganking is ridiculous. It's like a Storm Spirit, but Storm Spirit doesn't have an Astral that allows you to deny creeps.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so continuing with him, it looks like Keystroke are trying to get rid of all of those big ultis at the moment with the Mars and the Gyro going on. So they Keystroke. I saw Keystroke and I saw the bans. Excuse me, Exdee are currently banning the large team fights.
I mean, Mars is definitely, but Gyro I've actually been seeing in like high MMR pubs. I've actually been seeing a lot of Gyro pause 5 and pause 4.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so I mean, the whole idea with Gyro pause 5 is that it's really good. It does a lot of magical damage.
Yeah, you basically just give up on your E until you have to level
and then the homing missile is just a good.
Yeah, it's just a good stun. Yeah, And it's
attracting those
also
heroes.
it's also a dissuader as well. Like if you drop a rocket in lane, the guys more often than not aren't going to stand and take it. They'll move back a bit. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
of
good,
course.
it's a
Also,
good way to push
it's
lane.
like one of those things where you if you try to when you're playing the Drow Ranger or like an anti-man, you think about all you say, you don't recognize that this rocket is coming for you because you concentrate on like Manta dodging,
Exactly.
and then this rocket just hits you because it's a slow flying missile. It's not like a ventral stuff which you can clearly see. The rocket just slowly hits in the background.
It does sort of go under the radar occasionally. But yeah, so like I said, maybe we're looking at an Exdee sort of 5-man build like I was talking earlier, which is fairly prominent with the Death Prophet and a Tusk so far.
I mean, with their bans, the Exdee gaming are definitely looking to 5-man snowball, and heroes like Gyrocopter, heroes like Mars, Nexus, just disrupts snowballing,
and
power pushes, and
a Drow being able to do some good damage as well in AoE.
The Ricky pickup.
Yeah.
So, what Ricky? I actually have a mix. I really like Ricky when he goes for Diffuser and SNY and then straight into BKB or something because of the nerf to the Battle Fury Axe. But I also feel like the Battle Fury Axe, if you can get that timing where you get the Dayless, when you get the bash, it's just so much stronger. But it's really risky because Ricky, if you buy the Battle Fury Axe, that's not a guarantee that you're gonna do a lot of damage in the fight. It's like an anti-mage with Battle Fury Manta. Like if the other team commander can lock you down, your hero's basically useless. So
you got to catch them at the right time, and not just that. Also, if you get caught a little bit behind as far as farm goes, it's a lot more difficult to start catching up because Ricky isn't like a burst farmer naturally.
No, not really. He's more like I was going to compare him to Monkey King. Yeah, he farms heroes and he farms lane creep. Like I was going to compare him more to Monkey King. But Monkey King has a Primal Spring to farm, but Ricky just has like Primal. Ricky has like Smoke Screen to farm or whatever.
Check
what is Exdee Gaming have taken a lot of their reserve time. They're thinking really hard for this pick, which is reasonable, but which makes me think that they're actually thinking. I think this DP will probably be more of a flex pick then, because it's taking so long to decide with it. But the
PA, damn strong at the moment. Unfortunately, she's just a little bit too prominent this meta. I really don't like PA. I don't like her in my pubs. I don't like her in proper games. I wish Volvo would nerf her so no one can play her again. But good hero. Why not?
The heroes are they're a bit tanky for a PA in this game because you can't really kill the Underlord. The Sniper is kind of the only one you can kill, but even then, there is the Abaddon to just a Photic Shield to slow and then just get off. So
Snapfire isn't that squishy either.
Squishy,
actually.
Yeah, it's a strength support. So
she's very, very tanky later on.
So like this PA, she's gonna. If she doesn't hit the insane timings, like a 90-minute Battle Fury power trades, that's the timing. She's not gonna be able to burst these heroes quickly.
Shadowfiend. Okay, well then it's not a mid Death Prophet anymore, I suppose.
Yeah, I was gonna say the DP definitely has to be like off lane because they were taking so long with their reserve time. It was like 40 seconds left, so they were thinking really hard about. But SF, if that is a mid SF, I'm really surprised because Janae doesn't really play these flashy outplay heroes. He plays more of the standard heroes like DP or like Sniper. He plays really stable heroes that even if he has a bad game, he can just go into jungle and just still be impactful throughout the game. But I'm really surprised by this flashy hero of SF.
Well, Shadowfiend, I suppose, doubles up on that damage. I don't know. It's such a weird draft that they have going at the moment. There's got to be something there that we're missing clearly because Exdee aren't they're not a stupid team.
I mean, the draft is kind of lacking some catch. Like if you just look at the team, they don't have any catch. Like
they've got about Tusk and the Dagger, and that's about it.
They've got Tusk and then the Ricky. So the Tusk snowballs into the Ricky. The Ricky just tricks the trade out.
Yeah.
And then they don't have like that.
See, there's no good stuns. Yeah,
it's not like a Pug.
And they also don't have any tanks either. What do you think about? So we're talking about maybe a support DP, and should they maybe go like a Tide?
10 seconds remaining.
They need catch. Tide is good, but I think they're still gonna play the DP pause 3. I think that's what the X is going to
Well, they don't have much time to think about it.
They only have like 7 seconds, so they need to think really fast. This is not giving me enough time to think because they're going to pick real soon.
Slaughter. Well, there we go. Okay, so I called it.
Okay.
So it's not quite Tide Hunter, but similar concept. It's a fish. I mean, and it's got an AoE stun.
It does solve the previous problem. I was going to mention that Exdee
There's
Gaming
a
has
lot of
have
armor
a really,
reduction though. So
I was gonna mention they have a really hard time doing Roshan. Like SF with the minus armor and PA is obviously good at Roshan, but it's just it's still really slow. Like if you take a really good team fight mid after the tier 1 tower is taken, that Exdee Gaming drop isn't really meant to go straight into Rosh. But Slaughter does solve that problem. It does address this.
And it helps
address the Ricky problem. Yeah. But it's just the catch is still.
Like it's weird. How much damage do you need more than that team to make me feel like they still don't have enough damage to deal with Duck?
It all depends on. I think it all depends on how the underload itemizes. Because if he goes for like, okay,
Hood Lally.
And
it's a child invoker, of course. Yo, okay. These two drafts are very, very unusual.
Okay, just looking at this invoker pick, like I think you're gonna have to go for Quaswex invoker because if the Ricky is gonna go for, I even think if Crimson Tide plays Quaswex invoker with the urn, is really snowballing with the Ricky diffuser. But I think you don't go with the Ricky Battlefield Ags because he definitely needs BKB in this game, and he definitely needs MKB. And if he goes Battlefield Ags, there's no way he's gonna have enough time. If Exdee Gaming are allowed to get their proper time, which is around like maybe 28 minutes onwards. So I'm expecting Muffin Man to maybe play the earlier under a different Ricky draft than the Battlefield Ags build, which I would prefer.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Do you have a favorite team so far?
I think I got a favorite Exdee. I think I got a favorite Exdee because they. Oh wait, that's a DP Pulse 5. Huh.
Yeah. Wow. Like I was saying, it's a Slaughter 3 probably.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I was mentioning that OG played DP Pulse. I don't really like it, but clearly Exdee Gaming sees something. Whoa. So I'm just favoring Exdee Gaming based on how mysterious the draft is.
I mean, if you're talking about OG, that old-fashioned saying from No-Tail, "This is Dota, anything can work." He's 176 and 21 with Abaddon, though. Oh my goodness! All right, well, as we find ourselves dropping into the start here, game number 1 in this best of 3. We're going to be going, and then we have another round later on tonight. Should be around about 8:30.
I think that's Punk X versus Platoon.
Yeah, Platoon versus Punks.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
so as we
that one should be a pretty uphill battle for Platoon, but this game should be pretty close. It should be like Punk X versus Exdee Gaming. It should be pretty. I don't want to stomp because the stomp is boring to commentate.
Yeah, no, sure. It's always more entertaining to watch a good match.
Yeah. Smoke up from Exdee Gaming.
Yeah. 4-man smoke. They're leaving Shadowfiend behind to try and get that bounty rune. They are de-smoked. And the Lord in the right position to break the smoke and just leave. So.
Well, that's how much is smoke? Smoke is like 50 gold. Oh, that's 50 gold that the supports.
Yeah, I mean,
they
not the worst investment ever, but anything is anything, huh?
They force B to buy that smoke of the seats.
Buy it. It's not gonna work, guys. Did we stutter though?
Actually, really interesting from Exdee Gaming. They're actually playing really aggressive on this triangle.
No, they really are trying to secure themselves 3 bounty runes. As on the top lane, we're going to have a bit of a fight between Biceps and Legend, but it should be 3 bounties for them in theory, as the third one from the river is not being taken yet. They're also going to hunt down Tucky, but no damage yet. Not enough yet.
Oh, dude, is FSM gonna sneak in?
No, he's not. He's smarter than that. I'd like to hope. You made it this far in the games. You're definitely not someone who's gonna fall for that.
So I think Skihound is gonna stay bot, and then he's gonna TP top, right?
Yeah. So go for a bit of an early kill on FSM before he gets
just look at his position.
Yeah.
Look at
he's getting around here. They've got the tag team ready to go. A couple extra right clicks, but TP away. They don't have the stuns yet. A little bit of aggression. He TP'd all the way back to base, though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's gonna really disadvantage his lane because now the Underlord and Snapper is actually a pretty strong lane against the a DP and PA. Like if they go on you, you just turn on them with Firestorm Cookie. But now that the Underlord TV back base, this
that's a rough
has to be a
lane.
bit careful.
That's a rough lane to start off. Like I think maybe he thought he was getting going to be a lot lower after that. Maybe underestimating the tankiness. Okay.
Oh, B's playing really good. Like I've seen B play, like when he plays Undying, he plays exactly his DP like he plays his Undying, just super aggressive. He doesn't care if he
get on top of people all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, with lane Janaid, he's looking really low, but Crimson Tide's also looking. Oh.
Yeah, there's a bit of a punch up in the middle here. As it looks, 1 or 2 more attacks should be able to do it, but they sort of just give up on the spot there. Decide carrying on what they're doing. I must admit, this happens more in mid than any other lane, where you find they sort of have this agreement. It's like, we're both low, we're just going to go back to farming. Cool? And they both go, okay, cool. You just carry on farming.
And then one guy breaks the treaty when he dies his power.
Exactly. And after that, everyone rotates.
I thought we're chilling. Wait, you watch your Tussle gag with? Oh, come on, man. I thought reviving you. Oh, Crimson Tide, Jesus.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
The raid stack, the raise stacks being able to bring down the first blood to Janaid. Whew, that is a start you do not want a Shadow Fiend to get.
Muffin Man top lane, he's getting really low. And I hate SFN so much. I can't differentiate between his mid raise and his long raise. Like it's so like the range on that is so ridiculous. It's insane. I hate it.
Yeah. No, the thing with SF is it's 100% about a mind game as well. Where like you got to get the opposition to get into where you want them to be before, and then but if you get them there, it's very, very hard to mess it up basically. If you're a good SF player, obviously. I'm not talking about 1K people, you know.
Looking top lane, how Skihan did drag the creep wave to. Actually, they're dragging 2 creep waves. Skihan dragged the second wave, and then Baren's freezing it. So the lane's gonna be really far back for Baren.
Well, they've tried to pull 2 lanes in a row, and now they're going for a third one here. And they are, like as you're saying, they're just on top of it the whole time here. So Barseps keeps moving forward to just make sure that they get all the creeps that they can.
I mean, it's so bad for Ricky, especially in the early levels. For this lane to be so, especially against Tusk and Slaughter. If you overstep one time, you get touched.
Oh yeah, just dead.
Just completely dead. Like you don't even know what happened.
The problem is like it doesn't really stop when you hit level 6 either. Like normally as Ricky, you hit level 6 and you go, okay, cool. There's a little bit more relaxation in this lane, you know. But it's a Slaughter, so when you hit level 6, he's going to be very close to level 6. So you're going to get maybe a creep wave or 2.
Lane, Crimson Tide is walking directly to
Skihound now.
Double damage rune. Alright, man.
No, they're not going to go back for it just yet, as it looks like they want to try and commit here. But here comes Legend with the shield. He won't be able to just about
save B?
Oh, B!
No. That was so close. You just sidestepped it by like a few millimeters. But Janaid did get the double damage, and now the lane.
He's hanging around a little bit here. He needs to be a bit careful. Trading's not going to be in his interest yet, I don't think, with an Invoker that close.
I think he's kind of chilling because Sag at the bottom lane playing the PA. He's going to have a hard time dealing with the Firestorm, but it is under his tower, so.
Yeah, and not just that. As top lane, there's that kill that we were talking about. Step out of position for half a second.
This lane is so tough.
Slaughter is also just so damn strong at the moment. You can stack, what is it in total? Once you're max level, you can stun for up to 2.3 seconds with a slow at the end of it.
Got it.
It's like I don't know how it feels about Slaughter. Like he's strong through every level. Level 1, he has a Slither Crush, which does so much damage, and also have movement slow. Or he takes a bash. Both abilities are insane. Level 2 just gets more. He's like it's like this hero doesn't have a stopping point.
Exactly, and I mean, if you it happened in a pub the other day where we got stomped. Everyone gets stomped from every now and then, you know. But this guy did the like rushed Mask of Madness, and then like Harperstone, and it's just like Like the time in between bashes, you get a whole half a second to do something. Otherwise, you're back under the in the naughty corner. As another little fight's coming up here, Legend, as you're saying, needs to be very careful. Yeah, this is a bash, and it's just a lot of damage to Muffin Man. He's not giving up yet. No? Okay, no, he is giving up. Okay, turning around, trying to save Biceps. So they should be able to bring him down. He's dodging and he's weaving, but he dodged and weaved the wrong way as there's the jump, and they will be able to bring him down here.
I think as a Ricky, I think maybe you wanted the Undying, but the Abaddon is like the next best pick because the shield does shield the damage of the bash and of the crush.
Oh, bottom lane B goes down. That the aggression he got to find himself caught in between FSM and Tucky there, and the burst damage just a little bit too much immediately.
So like especially with level 3 Firestorm, like
and,
even
and
this
the shotgun.
the shotgun Firestorm, you just keep the guy slowed with the stun cookie, with the slow from the Q.
He hasn't leveled the pit just yet.
He needs to be careful here. He might
be going straight back in again, and there's the shotgun that we were talking about. With the cookie on top of it, and he's just gone. And now Rosa, time for him to back up a little bit again. B getting a little bit too excited, I think, in this lane. As top lane, there goes Abba again. Well, not again, but this combo finding themselves another kill. As
I think B's approach to playing aggressive as a positive, or they might actually dive my PA bottom. Dodges the Q.
Cookie. There's the cookie. They will be able to bring down Firestorm plus Little Ripper. Skihan needs to be careful. He just arrived at full health, and he's already at half health because of the leftovers of Firestorm. He does get the return kill, though.
It's unfortunate that he didn't have enough mana to turn onto the Underlord as well, but I think even if you turn on the Underlord has
he's stealing 59 damage. It's going down. Yeah, it's going down now. You're right. It was higher. It looks like they should be able to turn it around here. The two supports going to be able to just kill him off after all.
That's great rotation from Skihound. It was a bit late, but at the end it got both kills. So
as top lane, they are trying to take advantage of the situation. Biceps having to run at the tower. They'll be able to catch him. Yep.
The missed coil. Okay.
Missed coil. Level 1 missed coil. I'll have you know.
75 damage.
That's enough.
Okay, we haven't looked at mid lane, but I'm looking at Janae. I'm looking at CS. I'm looking at 80 CS.
It is scary.
And I'm looking at 40 CS.
Okay, we haven't talked about this lane at all because there hasn't been that much action, but he has taken control here. More than almost double at 8 minutes. That is insane.
I mean, there's not really much action to be mid because Janae is just shoving out the waves with his razors, and then Crimson Tide just has to deal with it. So I don't think there's much action.
No, exactly. And then he just goes in and cleans up a creep camp.
Yeah, I mean,
getting a bit careful here as B and Roselle looking for a bit of action here. He will be able to cook himself away. He's in top lane. The combo continues to pay off in this lane.
I think they need to switch Muffin Man out of this lane. This lane is going to be unbearable for him.
Yeah, because
like Ricky does do really well against like right-click harass just because of how much armor. Oh, they're looking to dive him.
But it doesn't matter. This is what we're talking about. Holy crap! Up and health gone, and will they be able to get him? They do. One last attack.
Dark Legend is dead as well.
But now Legend's coming back in, and I don't think this is a place that you want to be right now. Biceps taking too much damage from the tower at the moment. He does need to be careful. Tucky on the way in. They have the cookie available. They looking to try and cut him off with a run.
He's really fast though.
Oh no! He turns around. Tucky now might be able to get the scatter shot off. There is a cookie available still, so when they do hunt him down, they should be able to stun him. There is no TP out option here. Wall. A little bit of.
I mean, the fish has 400 movement speed. I don't think you're stopping this one. That was pretty.
That shotgun does so much damage. As like we were saying earlier, my goodness, I was not expecting that.
I think Ricky deals better with than some other carries because it's just how much like his HP regen and how much his armor is, but all of that just comes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter when you have minus.
Skihan gonna suddenly go, oh shit! Muffin Man stealing a bounty out from underneath them. They're not going to have enough to quite kill him yet, and I suppose that's the downside of Legend. We were talking about it earlier. You know, there's not a huge amount of kill potential in that lane, like for their side at least. You know, where they have to basically just chase people down. There's no stuns early on or anything like that.
This is the main problem I have with Avalon Posse. If you can't dumpster the lane, at least if you're playing Undying and you don't dumpster the lane, you still have the ulti for damage for amp to make yourself tanky. But when you're playing Abaddon, it's you just have one ability, which is your fortitude. They're looking to gank mid.
Lane, 4-man gank coming up here. Tornado misses, and he is very fast. He's got TP boots already.
He has TP boot wind lace, and he's approaching really fast to his Yusuf. They're coming up in the next minute.
Move speed.
Bot lane, Sash needs to be careful.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get something out of this. As Rosa, he's going to be, he should be brought down fairly easily here. He's going to be able to jump away with Little Ripper.
The Sunstrike
will bring him down. And he does go down after that. Ski Hound coming around to try and help. I don't know if they're brave enough to quite chase under the back tower to get him.
Unfortunately, most TPs on the side of Exdee were down because they were TP top for the tower. So unfortunately, Ski Hound.
Can we stop to talk for half a second about 142 last hits in 11 minutes?
I didn't want to say it because I was gonna be. I didn't want to talk about the CS team, but he is kind of vibing really hardcore.
He has his Yules. So he's got TP boots Yules at 12 minutes.
Yeah, this SF is gonna look really scary. Like he doesn't even have to do anything. Just his presence alone will be like enough. Looking to gank mid lane. Crimson Tide.
Looks like they're gonna be able to turn out. Oh my goodness!
Jesus, okay.
So much damage. Just the easiest kill in the world. The Walrus punch is so strong. There's Ashard's not quite able to get what they would like. There's B here. He's going to be able to
Legend
slow
does
down.
have ulti, but he needs to be.
In the background there.
Yeah, I was going to mention something when I look at DP. I saw the actual where it says drain armor. I think.
Oh yes.
Maybe that could be like approach for like playing DP.
Well, they have a lot of armor reduction as it is.
Does that thing work on Roshan?
Oh, that's yes, it does.
Yeah, so that thing lasts for 14 seconds and drains 0.75, so that should be like 12 armor reduction for anyone. So I think that's okay. Just look at it now. That makes more sense to pick the DP pulse. But I just never knew. I just forgot what the DP shots. I thought it was something way different.
Yeah, no. But well, that shot is strong, hey. When in this particular setup, at least.
I don't even think it is. I don't know how. I need to actually see if B does buy the shots to see its effects.
Yeah, it seems strong though.
It does seem really strong, but what is his Invoker? He went for Midas, which I don't think he should have gone. Like I understand why he went for Midas, because the reason why you go for Midas, like I saw some pro players do it, where they buy Midas and just continuously fight. They don't have to keep farming because they have the Midas, right?
Okay.
But I think with the amount of money that you could buy, I think you could have bought the more.
Yeah, it looks like they might turn around an FSM here, but there is the Mortimer Kisses on the background. Ski Hound just getting absolutely destroyed by it, and they will be able to bring him down eventually. And now B getting far too aggressive there. He should have just gotten out immediately, and he goes down too. Just all of the burst damage in the world combined with the Underlord, and just easy kill in the end.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, no, Shadow Fiend is just getting really damn scary at the moment. He's 3/4 of the way to his blink as well, basically. Sure, things are looking a bit tough for Duck. They're more or less equal on kills, and the net worth is only 1,000 difference. But yeah, 2,000 of that is just on Shadow Fiend. As looks like they're going to try and cause a bit of a fight here. Legend is on quite low health, and then they just go straight on FSM first hit. Bash, as was planned there. And then happy to just take the tower. Some objective Dota. Invoker looks like he's going to be the next one, but preemptively Ghost walks, and they're not going to walk close enough to get the effect of it, so they don't know. He's just gone. It looks like they are trying to take a bit of control away from Duck here in this jungle. Oh, so
This should make my life easier.
we have been talking a lot about Shadow Fiend, but going back towards Rosa on this PA. He's still a little way away from that Battle Fury, hey? You definitely want one earlier than this, as it looks like they are going on Legend. His ult will be there to slow him down, but there's the Yules to kill a bit of time, and yeah, he's just gone when he hits the ground. So, but yeah, so as I was saying, this PA struggling a little bit at the moment for farm, considering how well the rest of his team's doing. It's he definitely is the one that needs to catch up here. I mean, we were talking the whole time about how hard of a lane Ricky was having, and he has more farm than the PA actually at the moment. Top lane, they find themselves B once again, getting aggressive and taking a meatball to the face. They know that June has arrived. He's looking to try and get something done here, as he will TP in. He might be able to catch the Ricky with his ult. No! They do manage to catch... No, okay. With a triple raise after the ult, they will be able to catch him. In the background, Ski Hound and Biceps just destroy Invoker. The combination of that... the armor reduction plus the Walrus Punch just so damn strong.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No worries. I think I managed to keep it going in the meantime. I was just saying how PA, as it looks like they're going to be able to find Legend again. They're chasing him down. The Yule's not enough mana, so they won't be able to kill him in the end. But so to go back to what I was saying though, is PA is really, really struggling for farm at the moment, considering how well the team's doing. Up until that last fight, she was actually behind net worth on the Ricky, and Ricky's had a arguably awful game up until now.
I mean, she had a really tough lane, because even for, like, as a carry player, you want the wave to be under the tower, but when you're going against the underlord who has 150 damage, that guy is going to go under your tower, he's going to deny any creep you have. If you try to go to creep wave, you either get hit by 150 damage, or you get Firestorm. You pick which one you want. So, like, it was a really hard lane for Sad.
No, she is catching up. She's now second on net worth, but second on net worth sounds really impressive until you realize it's almost 4,000 net worth behind Shadowfiend.
Junaid is kind of vibing though.
He is going insane. He's already about a quarter of his way to his BKB as well.
But I think for Exdee game, they just need to wait for Junaid to keep snowballing to his BKB, because I don't think he's going to get the ulti off against Smokescreen, against Cold Snap.
As you were DC'd, he did manage to actually blow up the Ricky out of nowhere.
Okay. Well, in the side
they're going to be able to try and chase down B here. He manages to get the silence off. We'll delay it a little bit. His ult is now going off, but in the backline, they just delete Invoker again. He has just become an absolute whacking doll at this point. And FSM, he's not doing too much better at the moment. But here come the Mortimer
kisses at the back, Beren.
Not quite be able to bring down Beren. That was beautiful Mortimer kisses, but the difference in levels is really starting to show a little bit here.
I think it's just a difference in, like, formation. Like, the Invoker was caught out really far down here, and his team was like, like they called up the Invoker offense and he was 3v1, and then B had, like, because he's playing a DP, he has the Exorcism, he has the Soul Siphon going. They can't really burst him.
Legend is getting destroyed.
Okay.
The power of the Corrosive Haze, and that's only level 1.
I think if you put that thing on like level 2, even like level 3, and Sag and the PA gets like a lucky crit, that I think it just goes to the ulti completely. I don't even think it matters.
Crimson once again just they are absolutely bullying Invoker at the moment. Which makes sense. He's their comeback mechanic. I mean, Invoker traditionally always been such a strong hero late game when played by a capable player.
I mean, he's getting punished
Tucky
by
level 7, Junaid level 17.
He's so fast. They don't.
Wow. He is a full 4 levels above the next person. 17 and 13 on PA. This is the Junaid show, friends. This is scary. And he's not far from having BKB, and then there's even less they can do about it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a way for Duck to come out in this game, but it's so hard, especially because the Invoker, he didn't really get the early game, like what's the word? Impact that he wanted. Mostly just because how much Junaid farmed and how much pressure he was putting onto the map. So you couldn't really get like those early, because wherever he was, Ski Hound there, and you have a BOT 9 minutes SF there. So
exactly.
I don't really think you can do much. But I'm thinking of a way for Duck to come back into the game, but I can't see it.
And this is the weakness of the Ricky that like you were talking about earlier. As Biceps jumping in once again, he's going to try and find himself a bit of a kill here. But this time they are ready for him. Do they have the damage with the Sunstruck? They do. Ricky ends up getting the kill.
Pretty aggressive thinking by Baren.
Yeah.
Did they have a ward up there?
They did. They saw Ricky destroying the ward, but I don't think the rest of Duck were in vision when it was destroyed.
No. Janaid is eyeing Crimson Tide really hard here.
Yep. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Yules and Kablam.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's like I said, he's got level 3 ult. It's a level 13 Invoker.
I think I don't know if you know the exact number. I think S of ulti does like 2.8k damage.
Yeah, sounds about right. Exactly 1,285 to Invoker, but that doesn't count because Invoker has 1,260 damage health.
I think just pure. I remember a number being in the high 2,000s for the SF. If you can get.
If you get it right,
most of your like low souls to hit the guy, I think you're thinking.
Okay. Well, I mean,
they're just gonna go instantly Roche. Why not? You have the presence. You have the slaughter ulti. Already said that we didn't go for shard. I thought that was the whole point of the DP.
Yeah, no. When you mentioned it, I went, "Oh, that makes sense." But Janaid just became double as scary, and that's pretty bad. As they just immediately find out FSN so much damage, and he's the tankiest guy on their team. The Mortimer Kisses are now coming out, but on the backline, Rose will be able to bring down the annoying fire there. And they are still trying to get FSN here, and the raise from Janaid just removes him.
Oh, Legend, he's trying to run.
Currently being hunted down by B. There's the Yules. They're going to be able to just finish him off third. DP ult plus Biceps around. It's just, yeah, this game's starting to look nigh
it's
on
starting to look rare, because even if Muffin gets the Ags, if he jumps into all this minus armor, he doesn't have a dispel. The only dispel they have is the Abaddon, and the Abaddon has to worry about not getting bursted. Like they went to the Underlord, and he took so much damage. But
he lost half his health in a second.
But if that wasn't the Underlord, someone would have died instantly in like 3 seconds.
Because most of the damage came from, well, pretty much all of the damage came from PA and Walrus Punch, which is all physical, which gets reduced. It's a 25% reduction. So basically, you add 25% onto what happened, and he's also the tankiest guy on the team. So,
I'm a bit worried from even if you finish the Ags, this is the problem when you play Battlefield Ags. But if you don't have the perfect game, if you don't hit insane timings, then you need the 3rd to 4th item to actually fight. It's just exactly like an anti-mage.
Yeah. No, well, you were actually talking about this the entire way through the draft as well, where Ricky probably not the pick here. So it looks like it will be able to imaginally catch Seahound. Yep, nah, they bring him down pretty quickly. And going on to Bren next, but he's just able to walk away. Do you think maybe Ricky should have considered a Diffusal Blade?
I think if he just... Oh, Janaid, he does have an infantry. He's sitting on... But... I know it's a hard game to... Because I understand why he went for the Battlefield Expo, because it's... Like, you go into the game and you don't say, oh, I'm going to get completely dumpstered. I'm not going to go for this. Like,
so this is what I'm talking about. If they had the Diff Blade, easy kill. But now they have to run the entire crazy map. They will bring him down.
Really long.
But that was their pause 5. You 5-man ganked to pause 5, and it took you 20 seconds to kill him.
That's like my main point with Battlefield Axe. If your team doesn't coordinate properly with you and you just jump someone, they can just easily run out of your smoke screen, out of the tricks of the trade, because you don't have the diffuser blade slow to stop them inside the smoke screen. Unless you have like someone like a Stormsword that can equally match your momentum, it's like your team coordination on Duck has to be insane to work properly with the Ricky. But Janaid's eyeing up the Arcane Blink. He's approaching it really quickly. I think he might get in the next like 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, Arcane Blink, very scary. That's probably one of the main memes to come out of this latest Blink update is the idea that Shadow Fiend can like be on top of you and then you're just dead. Oh, he's going Swift Blink instead.
Oh, he changed it. He changed it.
Oh no, he's going E-Blade. Now he's going E-Blade.
Because I remember S, like the main problem with S, if you don't have BKB, you need 3 items to complete your combo. Blink Dagger, use BKB. But with Arcane Blink, it takes like... I don't think they have the time to react. Wait, did Muffin Man have anything?
Yeah, he lost... It was the intel and strength parts of the axe. He was left his courier there to get the point booster.
The point booster, yeah.
He was like 400 gold away when he sent it there. It's a bit awkward.
It's really hard because if you just look at Exdee Gaming, Skihao can kill the Riki.
Yeah.
Slaughter can. B can kind of just solo. Not even kill him, just buy so much time for him. Like, and then Duck, you only kind of you have the Riki for killing people, and
yeah,
Muffin Man still has to worry about everything else, like how to not die in like 3 seconds. I think that's the main problem.
It really is a case of if he gets corrosive hazed and Walrus Punch, pretty much. I mean, Walrus Punch at the moment is doing what, 500 damage? Oh, he's got decent armor, so maybe he doesn't just die to
Legend
that.
walks high ground.
Oh my goodness. Legend ult just immediately goes off. They might be able to bring down Skihound here though, but he will probably pay for his troubles. Yes, he will. Rosa ready with that BKB. Here comes the Sunstrike. They will be able to catch Rosa with it, but I don't think it will matter at this point. With the Mortimer Kisses being thrown out, but there's such close range that they can't do anything about
Crimson
it.
Tide.
What a nice one.
Combo.
And they will be able to get the combo off. Rosa will be able to just walk away here, and with a couple extra last hits, FSM should just, yeah. But Junaid arriving a little bit late to that fight, but still makes it a 4-for-1.
I mean, the thing is that they won 4-for-1, and Junaid wasn't even there to blow up 2 heroes on the map, so
oh man,
it's looking a bit rough, but
game is hard.
I don't know what happened to Crimson Tide's tornado. It hit like a 3-man tornado, which was beautiful. I thought I was gonna see like a
meatball.
CK meatball into Deafening Blast, because I think he could have definitely killed.
No, the problem was he was standing right up near the tier 3 at that point, the tier 3 ramp. And it's maybe a bit difficult because at that point you drop the meatball, and by the time he gets to where they are, they just walked on either side of it.
I mean, to be fair to him, he does not have a lot of levels in Quas. I think the duration is only 1.7, so it's not. It's not like 2.8 seconds to.
It's Wex. It's the Wex is your range one, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, so you're talking about the actual time in the air.
I was talking about the lift time.
Okay, sorry. No, I thought you were talking about the distance of the meatball. Because the distance on the meatball might not even be there, actually. But we're talking about the time that he's in the air. But with only 3 levels in Wex, the meatball would only last a few seconds, basically.
So I think Roshan was...
As they find an orb of destruction on PA.
Okay. More minus armor.
Nice. Man. He's currently got the Paladin sword as a top lane. Yep. He just... Yeah.
That's the most tanky hero on the map. That is an underload just gone.
E-Blade says no.
With the E-Blade, I think I don't know what I got in one-shot by the ulti.
If he'd E-Bladed first, but that's a little bit awkward.
E-Blade?
As B finds himself out of position here, and they will be able to bring him down quickly. Rosa currently a little bit out of position, but there's the E-Blade trying to hold him down a little bit. Blink in from Baren to try and slow everybody down. He is cold snapped. It's not a very high level cold snap. He will be able to bring him down though. And now Exdee need to be a bit careful because they're going to lose Skihound too. And there's
Exdee? Hello?
What feels like the first good fight that Duck have had this whole game.
I mean, they were begging for... I mean, Exdee came begging to just get picked off one by one. What happened there? This B died, and then they all back, and then Sad went in, and they all back, yeah. And then Baren went back, and then more guys.
Yeah, it's like one person at a time decided, okay, I'm gonna save them. So the first person died, one person went to try and save them. The next person, then that person died, then they sent another person in to try and save them.
Maybe I think that's probably miscommunication error.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, when you're this far ahead, there's also something to be said about maybe misjudging how far ahead you are.
Probably. I don't know, but that seems to me like a clear like communication error. But it's fine.
That obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they don't have Esable because you just saw your Underlord get from 100% HP to 20% HP in 1 second.
I mean, if you think about it, that fight was literally a 3 for nothing because Underlord was dead before the fight even really started.
Oh,
it looks like they've found June.
No, I think
the rest of the team is around here. They didn't have wards, did they? No, they didn't have wards.
They had I think Exdee Gaming had a sentry.
That's the Dire sentry.
Yeah.
So they didn't see him there. I think they Muffin Man thinks that they saw him, but he immediately just jumped away.
Muffin Man going for BKB, which is
like
his only option.
And
Ski Hunt, Jesus.
That ward hits the ground and immediately disappears. As they will be able to 1 or 2 more hits. Be able to. His ult is now available. Holy crap! His health goes from nothing to almost full because of 1 attack. They will maybe be able to save him here. As in the background, Baren needs to be very, very difficult. Oh my god!
SF does have ulti though.
So much damage. Sunstruck being thrown out, not quite enough to bring B down. And
ultimate kisses.
Yeah, not quite enough.
Roche is up for Exdee Gaming, so they can take it in like.
Oh yeah, no, it's so easy for them at the moment.
And just go straight in.
I gotta say that after how many abilities were thrown and how deep they engaged there, the fact that only 1 person died is quite impressive.
I was impressed that Muffin Man didn't die because.
Oh yeah. He was under awards for a long time.
I mean, Janae just has a list. Like he picks 5 hero. He like does that. He.
He survived it this time.
Huh.
I mean, at least the first blast. That was always going to happen, but
I was expecting more damage. But...
he has Enchanted Quiver. That's where all that extra immediate damage is coming from.
I expected the ulti to do a bit more damage, but it might have been the target. 400 bonus. Wait, no, it's 300. That is a lot. They gave the Roche to the PA.
I mean, SF has the cheese and he hasn't died yet.
No, I like the PA having it. I actually really like Sag not going for the Deso because Deso would just be way too overkill. That money could just be going to BKB to ensure that you kill it. You don't need an overkill.
Yeah, he's had BKB for a long time, eh? He went. I think he went BKB 2nd item, 3rd item. Excuse me.
So 9 seconds.
My dog quietly complains in the background.
I mean, at this point, when you expect how like early Janae got his BKB, you expect his BKB to be like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, but it's still 10 seconds, which I'm really worried about. It 10 seconds in like.
Oh right, he hasn't even used BKB once. That was his 3rd item.
I'm really surprised by
that.
Baren jumps in.
Yeah, they caught FSM again. He is very, very tanky though at the moment. There's Ricky is now around. Will they be able to bring B down? Not quite. It looks like they're just going to try and Uber out of here. As Rosa caught a little bit out of position.
Wait, hold on.
Hang on, they did cancel his ult though. Rosa getting a little bit too far in there. And it looks like Exdee have suddenly realized maybe they're not quite as strong as they thought and they turn it back out. And the strength of FSM really starting to show now.
I mean, they can't. I think they went on him 3 times. The first time, okay, you can kill him, but the second time, I think in this top lane, you should have known that FSM right now is getting a bit too tanky to get bursted like that. So I think if they jump him again, they're gonna fail to realize.
He's also got a cloak. That's why the ult wasn't doing so much. But it looks like they're gonna find themselves out of position very quickly here. But Legend being sent up in the air. He does have his ult going. Leon might just about go, but in the background, Janae, there's the ult, and it will just be able to immediately blow up the Snapfire. So they're not gonna get very much support further. And then Rosette trying to turn around and fight. He does have the Aegis. He's going to come back for another round, but Junaid might just end up sacrificing his friend here.
He
No, he
doesn't have
doesn't look like he
BKB.
wants to. He's turning around on FSM, but he does. It's a bit of a misplay here. Outplaying himself maybe slightly, and he needs to be so careful. PA is finally brought down in the background. Junaid throws
They need those
try and
Junaid
buy
kills
himself a
so
bit of
bad.
time. He is trying to run away. He has the arcane blink ready and available, but it is constantly just being reset here, and they will finally be able to bring down this SF. And out of nowhere, DUC are just pulling a win out of their asses. There was the bar back on
the Snapfire, right?
Snapfire.
Yeah, on the Snap.
But
like
it's a 4-for-1.
They got the Aegis as well, and they didn't really accomplish
no,
anything with the Aegis.
So it's a 4-for-5 actually.
I mean, that was a dream fight for.
Yeah,
But
geez, that's what I'm saying. Like out of nowhere, it seemed like 2 heroes would just immediately get deleted. But the strength of FSM once again that we were talking about, combined with Legend on the Abaddon. Whew.
I think for DUC, this has gotten to their critical point where they actually can turn around the game, because the Invoker does have the A on this to survive. They do have the Vlads to keep sustaining, and obviously FSM does have the Crimson and the Greaves to stop the initiate jump damage. So I think this gets to a point where DUC can actually, where the 5 man's actually stronger than Exdee Gaming.
B maybe stepping forward a little bit too much there. As he rightfully decides that it's time to just get out of there. And I gotta say, they don't have any specifically good anti-tower abilities, but when you combine it with the passive from Legend there, where they get the extra attack speed bonus on the tower, it does speed up that push quite a lot.
I mean, Alacrity. I think even in this case, you Alacrity the analog, because the man's kind of vibing with 160 atrophy. I think you kind of give the Alacrity
he's hitting real damn hard at the moment. I mean, at the end of that fight, I think he was sitting somewhere in the region of 300 plus extra damage.
I mean, that's what makes Analog such a great objective here, because you don't die, your ability is so useful. And after you win the fight, you can just take towers, even though your hero doesn't have the ability to just do what a lone druid does, but it's just pure damage.
And it's quite interesting. I mean, if you look at that last fight that just happened, that did not look like a disparity of over 10,000 gold lead.
No, that looked really close. It looked like if FSM... I even think FSM... I mean, no, not FSM. DUC. I even think for DUC, they were... If you took away the kills and you took away everything, I'll be actually looking like, wait, are Exdee Gaming losing? Like they were not even close to winning that fight. They were so tanky and so it was so much regen.
I gotta say, this Underlord is really like the backbone of this team at the moment, because he's so difficult to kill. By the way, earlier we were wondering why he didn't take that much damage. He actually had a casual cloak for a long time.
Casual cloak of flames, or the
cloak, the anti-magic one.
Oh.
Which he's now finished into a pipe.
Yeah, this pipe.
That's why he was living so long through the SF.
It's definitely gonna make Junaid do less damage, but Junaid still has the potential to just completely burst the Crimson Diamond.
Oh, they are gonna find him though. They can't. Oh, they didn't quite see him though.
Oh no!
He was close enough to break the smoke, but not close enough to be seen. As Biceps on the backline, he's going to try and get involved a little bit here again. Junaid using his ult, but the Tornado is now there to block it. BKB is being used though, and now they will just be able to catch everybody off. They'd be able to destroy the Ricky on the backline. FSM, all of the tankiness in the world, but it doesn't matter. And now the Snowball's just going to be able to go in on Legend. His ult's no longer there. Rosa ramping on the backline. He's should just be able to bring down Snapfire with one more dagger. He does. And on the way there, Ski Hound on the backline, and Junaid able to finish off the annoying Abba there. And just like that, that looked a little bit more like a team that had over 10,000 network lead.
I mean, that just comes the problem where they were so spread out. So because someone was taking the outpost and another guy was going top lane and someone was backing, right? And they just got picked off so easy. Like, Muffin was so separated from the rest of the team. Like, they couldn't cookie him. FSM couldn't tank the damage for it. Like, that's the main problem.
And that's actually a bit of a theme of this game, actually, that we've sort of seen, is anytime that DUC aren't around, as we see 3 lanes of racks just being removes.
I mean, for that to take the team fight, their formation
all be
has
on
to
top
be
of each
so
other,
close.
Yeah.
But that is also really risky with Battlefield PA
yeah.
and Janaid.
Has fallen. The Radiant now have Mega
And just like that, we have Mega Creeps. A game that looked like it was starting to get very, very even. All of a sudden, one fight and the Mega Creeps like.
I mean, Mega Creeps could be a big problem for DUC because they don't have any. They only have Muffin Man and Underlord to be there, and those heroes have to be in the fights, except for Underlord. But the Underlord needs to be the one in the front line. He needs to be.
Underlord has to be. He's got the pop, the Crimson Guard, and the Guardians.
Ricky does have Divine Rapier queued up, but it's still really far away.
No, the problem, they are on Mega Creeps though. That's the thing. It's
Dire are
scanning. We're starting to get to the point now where you kind of are doing.
I think if the Ricky loses, if the Ricky dies and dies, there's no amount of items that you can bring back.
Exactly.
So I think the Divine Rapier is probably the best way.
Yeah, they've got to give it one last roll of the dice. I mean, they have pulled a few really, really good fights out, so...
they're looking to smoke the Crimson Tide top. Oh no, Crimson, does he realize this?
I mean, I don't think it matters anymore, because even if they don't realize it... Oh! They're just not quite able to bring him, but they will be able to catch him.
Crimson Tide is dusted.
No, they've dusted him, and he's now BKB'd, but, yeah. It's not gonna matter. He's just gonna immediately go down there. And,
that was a great move from Exdee game, man.
He does have buyback. But they don't have a snapfire for 35 seconds.
It's looking real scary.
Yeah.
When Exdee is pounding on your door like this with Exorcism, it's looking real scary for the entire base.
Oof.
Oh, what happens to FSM?
It just... Where'd it go? Oh my goodness. Oh, the damage was just insane.
Wait, hold on. That Underlord took like half his HP damage for one deck.
Okay.
Hold up.
Wow. Yeah. That's a game that looked very interesting for Exdee for a little while. Ended up turning into a little bit of business as usual in the end.
I mean, we'll talk more about DUC had a great performance, but let's talk about it after the break.
Sure.
10 minutes.
Oh no. Oh yes. So we find ourselves at the end of that game. Again, Exdee putting on a very, very good situation there. And say hello to the dog. He decided halfway through that game if everybody heard that he wanted to be on my lap, and that was that. So, but so we're going to take ourselves a quick break, and then we'll be chatting about the game a little bit more in depth just before the next one. So yeah, we'll chat to everybody soon. Sure.
Puffy's going to come in, push him here. He's going to find him. Unfortunately, not going to